Hello, this is Miss Hooper with a practice video with the goal of helping you design your own practice routine and set your own goals and make a plan to reach those goals. So today I want to talk about creating a practice plan. In another video I talk about making time to practice, making a commitment at a certain time every day to practice. It doesn't have to be the same time every single day, it all depends on your schedule. But this time I want to talk about what are you going to do with that practice time? Because, without, unless you don't know if you don't have a plan, you're just going to fall apart. That's the bottom line. You're going to play nonsense. You're going to kill time. You're going to procrastinate. You're going to do things that you really don't need to do, and nothing's really going to get accomplished. So let's start with the practice plan that I'm coming up with for myself. I am using the very practice record that you guys are using for your practice. So I'm going to practice what I preach here. And on the top, I have my goals. And my goals are going to be different than yours because, well, I've been doing this for a lot longer. But for example, goal number 1 is to play all 12 major scales and arpeggios. And I'm not going to make you do all 12, don't worry. But I have a plan for this. And I'll talk about how I've come across it later, but that's my goal, is to play all 12 major scales and their equivalent arpeggios. I'm going to start at a slower speed and then gradually bump it up. This is going to be my warm-up every single day. Another goal I'm going to have is for a piece by Dr. David Wallace called An Array of Irrevocable Light. This piece comes in several movements. The movement I'm going to work on is called Desert Light, and my goal is going to be able to perform it at 80% of the original speed. So I'm not going to be quite up to speed. I'll be about 20% slower, but that's going to be more than what I could do right now. That's my goal. And finally, my third goal is to start learning how to ghost notes on my instrument. That's where I'm playing, I'm moving my bow on the string, but I work my fingers, my bow in such a way where you barely hear them, so they become like shadows. And I want to be able to learn how to do this to become more of a rhythm player, to get better at playing rhythm. And so, again, I have a resource for that, which I'll talk about later. Now, let's talk about my weekly practice plan. So right here, starting on Monday, I wrote down the scale I'm going to work on is the C major scale. I'm going to work on C major scale, run through the entire scale, run through its arpeggios, maybe even a chromatic scale. I haven't decided yet. And then every day I'm going to do a different scale. So even if I bomb the scale a little bit or I mess up on the scale, I'm going to go ahead and go on to another scale every day so I get all 12 down, because I'm going to be coming back to the 1 as I go. Now in the groove study for learning how to ghost notes, right now I have groove study number 1. That's from a book written by Tracy Silverman called Strumbowing. He has some exercises that he calls groove studies. I'm going to start with Groove Study 1. Notice on the other days I have not written like Groove Study 2, Groove Study 3. I don't know how I'm going to progress yet, so I'm going to leave it wide open. I'm going to focus on just Groove Study 1. Start slow, build up speed. If it becomes too easy or too boring, then I'll go into Groove Study 2 or whatever. And then on Array, I still have it pretty open. I'm going to every day pick certain measures to work on and focus on those measures. Again, every day is going to be based on the day before. And then here I wrote down Bach. So J.S. Bach was a composer that lived, he died in 1750. So he lived in the late 1600s through early 1700s, and his music is considered the tried and true of string orchestra playing. So I'm going to try to do something with Bach every day to build my skills up. Now I want you to notice something here. On Sundays, I don't have any of these other things listed. Instead, I wrote plan, listen, creativity. So I'm going to plan my next practice session based on my progress. And every day, by the way, I'm going to write down and reflect on how my practicing went. But at the end of the week, on Sunday, I'm going to sit down and reflect and plan on what I'm going to work on next. I'm going to spend time listening to music, very targeted listening, whether, for example, I'll listen to a Ray so I can get a stronger feel in my ear for how it goes. I might choose other pieces of music to listen to. Recently on Facebook, several of my friends did a challenge where every day they listed an album that influenced them. So I'm going to go back into their Facebooks, reread those lists that they posted, and look up those albums and listen to them and try to hear what they hear. So I'm going to spend some time listening to those, and then I'm going to also work on creativity, whether I write something down on paper or I improvise. I'm just going to put away the written music and create my own in some way, shape, or form. I have no idea what it's going to look like. I'm just going to start with something and build from there. I'm not going to wait for the perfect thing to pop up. I'm just going to start somewhere with something and go on. And I'll be doing the I improved on and I wish to improve on. I'm not going to do parent signature there, though. I think, as old as I am, I would like to think I don't need parent signatures anymore. But I hope this helps you. So, again, I'm going to do my planning on Sunday nights. You plan yours whatever day works best for you. But create a plan on what you want to work on every week, and it allows for some flexibility. It doesn't have to be set in stone. But if you create a weekly plan for what you're going to do every single day of the week, then you're going to have direction in your practice instead of picking up your instrument and going, what do I do? So, as always, let me know how this helps you. Comment what are you planning on working on? What are going to be some of your goals? And later on we'll talk about how to achieve those goals. Have a great day. Take care.